welcome to the Real Sports Rundown. I am your host, Ryan Gentile. Well, it's a new haircut, nice little jacket, nice little spaded shirt here. Man, it's too hot outside to be having like long old hair, man, and people get sweaty, and it's a lot cooler with shorter hair. Feels a lot better too. You don't have to really mess with it that much in the morning. But don't worry, the haircut changed, the show remains the same, so don't worry about it. But we got lots to get to over this past week. The first thing that we're definitely going to talk about is the killing and murder of Steve McNair on 4th of July this past Saturday. Now, it's a sad thing that happened, and a lot of people are talking about, the fact that he cheated on his wife, he had a girlfriend. Look, people, we don't know what happened. We don't know the situation, so don't sit there and assume that you know. Now, if things start to leak out, fine, okay? But just because he had a girlfriend does not make him a horrible, horrible person. It's not like he went out and murdered somebody, okay? This is the fact that he made a mistake, and he paid the ultimate price. He was shot and killed because of that mistake. Nobody deserves to be shot and killed over that kind of situation, okay? And if you believe that he deserved what he got, you're a sick individual, and you need to go see somebody and look yourself in the mirror and ask yourself, am I perfect? And then if you answer yes to that question, you need to start laughing at yourself or hit yourself or ram your head into the mirror because you're already sick, because nobody in this world is perfect, okay? You're not perfect. I'm not perfect. Nobody's perfect. We all make mistakes. We have to own up to our mistakes. But unfortunately, McNair never got a chance to own up to his the way that he should have got a chance to own up to it, because he was shot and killed by the woman. Now, they're not saying it's murder-suicide, but a lot of things are pointing to that. But look, he's not a bad person. He made a mistake, okay? And the fact that he was shot and killed because of it, it's a sad, sad day for, everybody in the NFL because of what happened. Now, moving on from that, that's all I'm going to say about that. Let's talk about Steve McNair, the football player. The guy that I'm going to remember is the guy in Super Bowl 30, I think it was 34. It was in 1999, my junior year of high school. He took his team to the Super Bowl. He used to be a Houston Oiler. Okay, that's where the team was. The Tennessee Titans used to be in Houston. The Oilers drafted him in 95. He was the highest drafted black quarterback at number 3, at that time in 95. And, he was Air McNair out of Alcorn State. And, he came in. He was the face of that franchise, him and Eddie George, especially when they moved to Tennessee out of Houston. And he was the toughest quarterback you would ever see. You would think he was a linebacker for how many injuries he got. I mean, the guy could have lost his arm. It could detach from his body, and he would find a way to throw with his left hand and still play the game. I mean, that's how tough this guy was. For any rookie that comes into the league, if you want to show him toughness, show him a videotape of Steve McNair. Because that guy just showed, look, these are all the injuries he's had this season. This is the numbers he put up that season, and you'll be like, there's no way he did that, but he did. He was the toughest SOB on that football field. If your mentality as a defensive player was to take him out so you had a chance to win, scratch that game plan, because he was tough enough to basically say, is that all you got? I got a little bit more for you. But the one thing I'm going to remember, getting back to it, was Super Bowl 34 against the St. Louis Rams. The drive down the field, a minute, I think 48 seconds left, he drove all the way down the field, got his team within 1 yard of tying the game up to possibly win the Super Bowl. It was their first trip in franchise history. And, I mean, how often do you know, everybody talks about the play as the losing end, or from the losing team in a Super Bowl. Okay, everybody knows the losers of the Super Bowl, the team that lost, the quarterbacks that lost, the players, the star players that lost the Super Bowl. But how often do you remember the play at the end of a Super Bowl of the losing team? We always remember the plays of the winning teams. We don't really remember the plays of the losing teams that often. And by far, that was the greatest Super Bowl that has ever took place, in my opinion. And it still remains true to this day. So to Steve McNair, and rest in peace to the families. Condolences. A moment of silence for you, my friend. You will be sorely missed. Okay, now we're going to move on to the NBA. Yao Ming supposedly is going to be out for the year, and if that's the case, the Houston Rockets are going to be in a little bit of trouble. Now, they're saying he could be out for his career as well. We'll cross that bridge when we come to it. Let's focus on this season right now, because we don't know anything yet. Now, if Yao Ming's out for this season, the Rockets are in trouble, because Tracy McGrady supposedly is still hurt, won't be playing until February. If they're going to trade him, they need to trade him now, try to get some players in that can score some points for us, because we don't have Ron Artest anymore. We'll get to more on that here in a second. But if Yao Ming is out, the Rockets are in trouble because they won't have a bona fide big man in the middle to clog up the lane or to dominate the game on the offensive end. And if that's so, basically, if Yao Ming if he is out for the year, the Rockets are going to be in a very, very tough time next year. Now, I'm not saying they won't make any noise. I'm not saying they won't make the playoffs, but it's going to be very, very hard. They're going to have to play extremely, extremely well to make the playoffs next year. So, we'll have to wait and see with that. Now, with all the NBA free agencies out there, Ron Artest signed with the Los Angeles Lakers. We already mentioned that. Trevor Ariza came to the Houston Rockets, almost like a trade. Hedo Turkoglu, stiffed the Blazers and decided to go to the Toronto Raptors instead. We also have Jason Kidd sticking around with the Dallas Mavericks. Rasheed Wallace going to the Boston Celtics. And then Mike Bibby supposedly staying in Atlanta with the Hawks. Now, out of all these free agent signings, which one is the biggest? It has to be Rasheed Wallace going to the Boston Celtics, because you have Kevin Garnett, Rasheed Wallace in the middle of that paint. You're going to have Ray Allen and Paul Pierce. And then supposedly Grant Hill is rumored to be trying to sign with the Celtics as well. If Grant Hill goes to the Celtics, I'm on record as saying right now that the Boston Celtics will win the Eastern Conference Championship and possibly the NBA title, which is what they're going to have to do. They're all in their 30s. They're not getting any younger. A lot of people are saying, well, they're old. I'm sorry. You know what? I'll take 30-somethings with championship experience, playoff experience, championship rings, any day of the week over, 5 young, talented guys that haven't really played in the playoffs and don't know playoff atmosphere. So right now, Boston Celtics are looking really good to repeat or go back to the NBA Finals. Of course, that's a year away, so I know I'm getting a little bit ahead of myself. But with all the free agents signing out there, you can't help but talk about it because it's been a madhouse out there with everybody going everywhere. So we'll have to wait and see how that exactly goes. But my pick right now is the Boston Celtics in the Eastern Conference. Of course, that could change. Okay, props to Roger Federer. He won his 15th Grand Slam over Andy Roddick at Wimbledon. He is now the all-time leader of Grand Slams. He overtook Pete Sampras, who was tied with him at 14. So now Federer stands alone, and he actually shows some emotion. That's something we never see. Usually they say he cries and he weeps. I don't even watch tennis. I don't really know, but to me this is a big accomplishment to see. So congratulations to Roger Federer. Okay, now the All-Star teams were selected over the weekend as well. Here are the list of the starters from the National League. And right now, looking at that list, I don't really see anybody that doesn't really deserve to be there. Carlos Beltran maybe a little bit, but for the most part, the National League, the fans got it right in the National League. Okay, Albert Pujols, God, I can't even get started on that kid. Good God, he's just hitting the crap out of the ball. David Wright also starting, Ryan Braun, Raul Ibanez, but Raul Ibanez is hurt. So is Carlos Beltran, though. So those two guys might not even make it in the starting lineup, which leaves room maybe for my guy Hunter Pence, who made it for the first time ever. Really proud of this guy, man. He's the hard worker. He's done everything right, man. He's busted out of the slump that he had last year, and he's had a great season. So hopefully maybe he gets to sneak up in there, and he'll be able to be a starter, which I think would be tremendous for him. Great experience. He has the Biggio effect on him. You know what I mean? He works hard. He busts his hump every single play, every single day. So congratulations to Hunter Pence. Hope you wreck shop in the All-Star Game, my friend. Now for the American League, here are the starters for the American League as well. And looking through the list, once again, I think they pretty much got it right. Derek Jeter going for his 10th time, and he's having a pretty decent year. Jason Bay made it, which is rightfully deserved. He never really made it in the National League that much because he played for the Pirates. He didn't get a lot of recognition. When he went to Boston, people didn't think he was going to do that well. I knew for a fact. I saw him all the time. He was in the same division at the Astros. Great player, much deserved. Josh Hamilton, man, you were hurt all throughout most of the first half of the season. I don't think you deserve to play in the All-Star Game. Or, you might deserve to play, but not start. So I'll just leave it at that. And then, of course, Tim Wakefield getting his first ever All-Star selection after 17 years. He's had a great year as well. All right, now it's time for this part of the show. It's not Quick Hits. It's called Did You See That? That's right. Did you see that? When you're looking at it and the next day you see your friends like, man, did you see that? Did you see that? Oh, my God. Did you see the Astros-Padres game? Okay, the Killer Bees were all over the field. You had Blum, Berkman, Bourne at the plate, wrecking shop. And then you had the Bees in the outfield forcing the left fielder to run in and be like, oh, my God. He's like, oh, there's a few bees. And then he turns around. There's a swarm of bees behind him. Caused a 52-minute delay. They had to call in a bee specialist to come in and get them all out of there. So, to me, very, very funny stuff. Well, that is the show for this week. Hope you enjoyed it. Next week, we're talking NFL and the All-Star Game, Home Run Derby. Hope everybody has a very, very great week. See you guys next time.